Well, thank you for coming on, man. I only met you once or twice before in person, but every time it has been a joy. You're a funny ass dude.
Thanks for having me. When I first heard that you were coming to Kimchipapikitchen, I did my Googles. I checked out your page. I was like, yo, this guy's a fucking creep. And I was like, yo, I like it.
Yeah,
I fucking like it, man.
dude. Appreciate you,
Yeah.
man.
At first, I thought you were gonna, say some bad shit. So I was kind of like, damn, I don't want to pull up. But yo, your shit is fire, man. I really fuck with your energy, and I think a lot of people are just scared to like, veer away from the norm. And
Yeah.
I respect that you're doing something unique, because everyone could go to a restaurant and be like, oh, I tried this, I tried that, but I like your spin on things, and I kind of like incorporate that style into my content creation as well.
Thank you, bro. That means a lot. Because I mean, is it fair to say you're like the face of Allston?
I mean, I would say my face is everywhere, but I don't know if I'm necessarily the face of Allston
Yeah.
because, a lot of people still don't know who I am. But because I like to be kind of incognito, I don't wear the glasses and
True.
I kind of keep a low profile. But yeah, I would say my face is well known,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't necessarily say I'm the face of Allston.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll run for mayor, but who knows?
Yeah.
I gotta
That'd be crazy. Well, so yeah, dude. So we're wearing our vote for kimchi shirts right now.
Yeah.
What is that about? Like, are you actually running for anything or no?
Actually, I can't really run for president because, well, first of all, I'm not qualified. Well, Donald Trump ain't either,
Yeah.
but I am not a natural born citizen. So one of the qualifications is you have to be born in the U.S. So I'm actually, fresh off the boat. I have an immigrant mark.
The
the shot. They're basically like,
Oh,
they
the
fucking,
TB. Yeah.
everyone, a lot of the fresh off the boat people have
Yeah.
that. So I had a green card for a while, and then I had to take a test to become a citizen. So unfortunately, for those reasons, I can't run for president. And maybe one day they'll change that. But the whole campaign behind it, the whole angle I'm going is, it's just kind of like a marketing campaign.
Yeah.
It's kind of a parody. It's kind of to poke fun at, the political climate. But I'm also talking about real issues because it's important to me. Like, I like to give back to the community. People see me online, they think I'm like always joking around, dicking around, but like I care about things. I like to give back to the community. There are certain issues that need to be tackled, and sometimes the politicians, they can't really reach the people. They're not in the streets. For me, I'm in the streets, my ears to the streets. I know what's going on, so I feel like I can make an impact. And this whole campaign is just to kind of build on that, build on my personal brand. And if they come to the restaurant too, based on this campaign, that's dope too.
What are some of these issues that you like to speak on? Well, I know you do a lot for the community, right? Like,
I like to give back to local community because let's keep it 100, right? If you look in the kitchen of any restaurant, it's like immigrants, right? Migrants. And a lot of them come here with next to nothing. They've had a hard journey to get to this place, whether it's legal or illegal. But at the end of the day, they're humans, right? And they need things, and they have children. So every year I host a toy drive, and this is just like straight out of pocket. People want to donate, they do as well. But for the most part, it's just like I'm paying for it, which is cool. I ain't complaining, and I like to like my Spanish is very good, so I put up little flyers all around the barrio. And I just tell them, come here, certain date, and I'm going to give out toys to the niños and niñas.
Hell yeah.
And I just want to give back to the community that's kind of helping all the restaurants, you know what I'm saying? Like, my staff is like 6 people in the kitchen, and they're all Hispanic.
Yeah, I've seen them. They're good looking guys and girls.
And hard workers.
Hard
Yeah,
workers, yeah.
like, everyone in the restaurant, they're fly, you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
And it's not like it's a requirement, but, just like if you're a fly, you attract fly people. You feel me?
Fly
Like, look
recognize
at us,
fly.
like-
So 5.5 Andy, he's gonna hit you with a Spanish quiz right now. Okay, you ready?
Well, first of all, why are you 5.5 Andy?
There's many reasons. 5.5 million net worth. I'm 5.5 tall.
Oh damn. Has nothing to do with your. No, I don't want. You're benga.
Yeah, my pinga, yeah.
No, I'm just playing. 5.5. I think that's the national average.
Yeah. I think
Or it
it's
might be 5.
It's 5.5. Don't ask me how I know.
You only need like what, 3.5 to hit this?
4. 3.5 to 4 is like,
Unless your shit is deep, right? Unless you're like,
Yeah.
one of them hoochies.
yeah, like, you think tall girls got like mad hoochies? like 5-6 inches. You gotta be in.
What did you say? Sorry.
Oh, it's 3.
3.5 to hit the spot, right?
For like a tall girl, you think it's like more inches?
I think it doesn't depend on the height. It just depends on the cavity. You know what I'm saying? You know, some girls are they just need deeper. You know.
Do you think that's a racial thing? A lot of people think it's racial when it comes to guys and wieners, but like you think,
Wiener size?
Yeah.
I mean, they always do all these fucking like surveys and like, who's the fuck's measuring dicks out here? And it's like flaccid or hard?
yeah, I mean,
Like,
I'm not.
Obviously hard. It's peak. You gotta test on peak.
Some people like automatically think like, oh, the number is based on flaccid, right? But that's not fair.
Yeah,
'cause
actually,
there's
we
a lot
have,
of people that aren't showers.
5.5 flaccid, that'd be wild.
That's wild, right?
yeah.
Because I'm not a shower, you know, I'm
Right.
a grower. So it's
Right.
like, oh, what the fuck is that? And then it's just like, surprise. You know?
Yeah. That's the Pearl Harbor kind of
Yeah.
like the surprise, right? Yeah. So no, I mean, yeah. We have a friend the other day. She was like, "Yeah, I always thought like the 5.5 average thing was soft," and like I was like, "Oh, where are you finding all these guys that are like 5.5 soft?" And you know, I think she's just misguided. She didn't have a great public education
There's a
growing up.
lot of false information out there.
Yeah,
Fake
misinformation.
Fake news.
Yeah, fake news. That's another issue that KimchiPapi likes to tackle. And by the way, we're speaking with KimchiPapi today. Joon Son, I believe, is the name.
Yeah, Joon Son's my name, but I'm gonna legally change it to KimchiPapi later this year.
Dude, that would be so.
That'd be fire.
Are you actually,
Yeah, I'm really gonna do it,
bro? Yeah, that's.
might as well, you know.
I think honestly, that's most people. What do most people
Well, no
call
one really
you?
knows my government name to begin with.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they call me KimchiPapi or
Yeah.
Papi or Creep or whatever. You know, so I'm gonna just rock with
Yeah.
KimchiPapi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is it because you have like a little bit of a Spanish influence that you put Papi as KimchiPapi?
I think nicknames should be given and not like
Right.
LeBron James. He calls himself the king, right?
Yeah.
No shade. But KimchiPapi was given to me by a friend of mine because during the time like Drake was kind of at his peak, you know, champagne poppy, and I was always like cooking with food. I was making content back in the day when I wasn't really popping. So you know, I was always cooking with, you know, Korean ingredients, and everyone just calls someone who's Korean like kimchi or whatever, right? So she just kind of like put it together, KimchiPapi.
Wow.
And I kind of ran with it. And I was like, yo, I kind of like that. Shout out to her. Her name's Lily.
Good.
5.5 Andy. I'm ready for your quiz. ¿Qué pasa, man? Yo, listos para el examen.
Oh, estás bien listo.
Sí.
Es un examen bien rápido.
No problema.
¿Cuál son las latinas más bonitas?
Esta pregunta es difícil porque todas bonitas. Todas son bonitas, ¿sí? ¿Sí o no? Pero mucha gente dije la colombiana, ¿sí?
Oh,
Porque la cool, you know.
Y las tetas, fucking.
Todo paquete está buena. Pero yo no, ¿cómo se dice? Equal opportunity employer.
Oh, okay. You don't discriminate.
Comprende, sí.
No discriminación.
Los chicos as well or no?
Chicos, no, solamente una, ¿cómo se dice? One way. No entra, solamente salir.
Oh, salir.
¿Comprende? No entra, por favor. Pero no problema con estos personas, ¿sí?
Yeah.
Me
Homosexuales.
gusta todas las personas, ¿sí?
Yeah.
Para mí las
¿Cuál?
más bonitas son colombianas o venezolanas.
Ok, pero son bougie, ¿no?
Oh.
También los colombianas
Colombianos son bougie también.
son interesadas, which means that they just love money.
Oh, okay. It's kind of like Vietnamese girls, no?
Kind of,
Yeah.
You're
Spanish you learn from, like Central American.
Just like public education Spanish. But I kind of learned from the streets too, because I grew up in New York. So I had a lot of Dominican friends, Puerto Ricans, and
So like Caribbean Spanish.
yeah, like Caribbean island Spanish.
Mama huevo.
Yeah, Manuel. Like nothing like it wasn't like the fucking colonizer Spanish, you know what I'm saying? Like ustedes and shit like that. It's just kind of like the Caribbean shit, the hood shit, you know? Yeah, the slang.
pica culo kind of
So
shit.
yeah, I basically learned Spanish from school, and I actually minored in it in college.
Minors.
No, I was going to minor in it, but then it got too difícil. You know,
Yeah, difícil con los menores.
they were like fucking telling me to watch these telenovas and fucking like analyze that shit, and I was just at that point I was like, I just took like 2 or 3 semesters, and then I kind of just stopped. But then I learned a lot while working in the kitchen because the cooks are Spanish and they don't know a lick of English, so I speak it every day. And whatever words I don't know, I try to ask them like "Como se dice?" or I use the Google Translate, you know. And I also used to date a chick from Honduras, and she didn't know any English, so you know I was just kind of forced to speak, you know, Spanish. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes I have to pull out the app because you know I don't.
Yeah, but you have good conversation.
Yeah, conversation, but like certain like things that are like deep, you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta pull out the app, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you'll survive. If you get dropped in Puerto Rico, you'll survive.
Yeah, I think I'll survive in any Hispanic country, and like you know, my Riz is alright too, you know, in Spanish. So
Mm.
yeah. Like
What's your
mami,
go-to line?
ven aquí, mami. ¿Cómo te llamas, mami?
The mami dog.
Tengo dinero. ¿Qué pasa?
¿Qué pasa?
Pasa.
That's how you do it?
Yeah, that's how I do it, man.
Wow.
I'm taking notes back here.
Yes.
You gotta know how to spit Riz in multiple languages.
You're out there, you're known as a creep with a K. So
Yeah.
not a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just
I don't think creep should be like a negative connotation.
Yeah.
It just means like back in the day, we're like, yo, what are you doing tonight? Yo, we're gonna go creep at the club. But it's more like we're gonna go, you know, try to holler at chicks.
right.
But it's not like we're like sniffing their panties and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which, you know, I just do that behind closed
Right,
doors,
right,
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, creep, the moniker KimchiPapi Creep, it's kind of like my alter ego.
Yeah.
And basically how it started was there was like a funny picture of me at this event that my friend was throwing. You know how those club photographers just go around
Yeah.
taking pictures? And they took one up of me that was pretty unflattering, and I looked like the biggest creep.
Mm.
And like at first I was like, yo, this shit is terrible, you know? But
Is
then,
this the one with the glasses?
yeah, one of the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
glasses. The people say I look like Rich Chigga, and I was just like, damn, man, I'm fucking ugly.
Yeah.
And I look like a creep. Well, then eventually, like, I kind of embraced it because I thought it was funny. And then I kind of threw that moniker on
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
KimchiPapi Creep. And then my homie actually painted a mural of that picture
No
in
way.
the bathroom. Yeah.
Wait, where?
At Kimchipapikitchen.
No
Yeah,
fucking
if you go in
way.
the bathroom, you'll see the picture of me. Creep.
You're just
So I'm
looking
just
at
staring-
people's dicks.
Yeah, I'm basically staring at your shit, you know what I'm saying? Being a
That's
creep.
the funniest shit I've ever
Yeah.
heard.
And it says
Yeah.
KimchiPapi Creep was here.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love
So that's
that.
how that kind of persona came about. Like, by no means am I like a real creep, you know.
No,
I
no,
respect
yeah.
women, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was raised by women.
Yeah.
2 older sisters, my mother, my dad was never around because he lived in New York and I lived in Mass. And, you know, I respect women, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I
I'm
mean
not a
that's,
creep by no means.
no, exactly. That's why I bring it up
Yeah.
because you use the moniker, but you're a very respectful dude,
Yeah.
and you really respect women. And I know you've had different relationships. Some went better than others with different people in the past. We've talked about this before. All right, how's your love life right now?
I'm talking to someone now, but I don't really like to talk about.
Let's
that.
we can skip it. Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Okay.
But I don't really like to talk about that too much because I feel like when you broadcast your shit, things can go wrong.
I agree with
You feel
that.
me?
Yeah.
Like, and I like to keep things on the hush. But I will tell you that she is foreign. Yeah.
Okay.
Because if it ain't foreign, it's boring. You know what I'm
Amen.
saying? So
Amen,
foreign
gay
chicks, foreign whips, and foreign food. you
Foreign
know?
food,
Yeah.
man.
I was
Foreign
about to say
food.
foreign dicks, but that would have been pause. Because it kind of rhymes.
It
you
did
know?
rhyme. It did
Yeah.
rhyme. Yeah. So you mentioned, you grew up in Mass. I believe it was Waltham. Is that correct?
Yeah, I actually spent my childhood in New York,
Okay.
Queens to be exact.
Mhm.
And then when I was 14, I was kind of forced to move to a suburb of Mass called Waltham because my mother took over a restaurant in Somerville, Korean restaurant. So she was like, yo, one day she's like, yo, we're moving to Mass. And then I was just like, fuck, man, I don't want to leave New York. Like, because, you know, you're in New York, you're with your friends, you're young, you're like, that's all you know. I don't want to move to fucking Boston, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know nothing about it, but, you know, I ended up, I would say I was, New York kind of raised me to be like mature at a young age because I think when you're a kid in New York, especially a latchkey kid, you familiar with that term, latchkey?
Yeah, like Oliver
Yeah,
Twist
the parents.
kinda.
Yeah, the parents just go to work and they leave you at the crib, and you're just
Right.
kind of on your own. So I felt like in New York, it kind of framed me to become independent and just to kind of survive on my own. And then when I moved to Mass, it kind of molded me into the man I am today. So I have love for both
Mm.
cities, you know, both regions.
Yeah. And so you were working in restaurants at a young age, Craig?
Actually, no, my mother had a restaurant, but she didn't really want me involved in it, even though I was intrigued. And she was just like, yo, focus on school. Like, I wanted to help, but, you know, it's kind of different. Like, because I know Chinese restaurants, they're like working their kids at like 5 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're just like, but with my mother, she was like, you know, stay away. I want you to just focus on school. And I was like, cool. But I didn't really focus on school because, like, I was just fucking around, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't really say I grew up in the restaurant industry, but I was kind of near it. You feel me?
You somehow always go back to the same sometimes negative patterns that you're just familiar with, right? Like I was raised by a toxic Viet women, and now I'm attracted to toxic Viet women, right? And so
Full
like
circle, right?
it's full
Yeah,
circle.
yeah,
And so
like,
you like even though your mom tried to keep you away from the restaurant business because she probably understands it's a grind, it's hard.
yeah, she probably didn't want me to like be in that grind,
Yeah.
but you can't keep someone away forever, you know?
Right.
Like maybe it was meant for me. It was in my DNA, right?
So your first restaurant was KimchiPapi, correct?
First restaurant was KimchiPapi. Prior to that, I owned a sneaker boutique. So I was kind of into the whole sneaker culture. So I've always been, I would say, like an entrepreneur. Not necessarily successful, but I'm always trying to start new things. And then when that started to kind of fade away, that's when I entered the restaurant space. And I really didn't have any training. I don't have any culinary training. I don't consider myself a chef by no means, because I think it's disrespectful to call yourself a chef if you haven't been through the grind, you know. I'm just like, I'm more of a businessman, and I know what tastes good. I know what people like. I would say maybe like a restaurateur would be more of my title, entrepreneur, and male gigolo on the part, you know, for middle-aged women, you know. So I'm trying to enter that space because I know there's a lot of, 50% rate of divorce, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of these older women, they want to fuck with like younger dudes, and by no means am I young, but I could, you know,
you're young
people
passing.
can see, they can. They'll be like, yo, maybe you're 30, you know?
Right.
So I could, basically, this is the service I want to provide.
Yeah.
Say you have an event, wedding, baby shower, and your ex is going to be there, right? You pull up with a young, fly, you know, Asian, young-looking dude, and you make him jealous. Like, you motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's doing good.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that could kind of fly, you know? I mean, you could be, you know, I'll pimp you out too, you know, if you're, you know, we should hustle more than one ways, you know?
You trying to be kimchi steppapi?
Yeah, more like kimchi gigolo, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily give him my pee-pee, but more like escort. Escort is always negative connotation, right? But it's more like you're escorting them to an event, you know?
Yeah.
Like sugar baby.
Sure.
You know, some of them don't give up the sugar. When it's time to give up the sugar, they're just like, yo, chill.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think, you know, there's definitely space for that. Because why can't we do that, you know? Power of the pussy, power of the penis too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Have you ever tried, have you done this before?
No, but it's just more of a concept, right?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of half serious.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's something that could possibly work, you know,
Yeah.
as a business model.
Yeah, but even not as a business, like I've that idea of pulling up with a friend of yours or something to make an ex jealous. Like, have you done that before?
No, but that kind of sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, because
once I go on the revenge tour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've done. Like, I did that once before, and it was a fun experience. You know.
So you pulled up with like a younger chick, or just
No,
a different
like,
chick?
like legal age, but
Oh yeah.
she's a friend of mine, and so you know she wanted to make some people jealous. And back then I was like better looking, so I was like,
No, you still fly. So you.
thanks, man.
So whose idea was it? Is it for you to make them jealous, or she wanted to make her ex jealous?
It was So she had an ex going,
Yeah.
and she wanted to make them jealous.
jealous.
We had this similar conversation, and it was kind of like a half serious joke at first.
Yeah.
And then she was like, let's just do it. I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, fuck it, let's do it." And so we pulled up.
How was that?
It was fun. It was a great time because it was open bar.
Yeah.
So you know we were just having a great time, and then I don't know if the dude felt jealous, but
What was he? Can you see him like eyeing you guys and stuff?
I don't know. I didn't know. I needed glasses at the time,
Yeah.
but I used to only wear one contact when I went to events.
Why is that?
Huh?
Why is that?
I wanted to save money. So I would go one contact at a time, which is enough to get to where I need to go, but not enough to see details. So like I couldn't see the guy.
Oh, were you driving? Because the Asians already, you know, we can't drive. So.
No. I was Uber kind of guy,
cool.
you know, because at that point in my life too, I was almost like always drunk. So like your driving was just
don't do that, man. Yeah. I know a lot of dudes I grew up with, DUI, license suspended, like that shit ain't.
No, it's not. It's
cool,
not
man.
good, dude. We don't support DUIs here.
Definitely not.
Boston, I think, has too much of it already, and so we don't want to support that kind of thing.
Definitely not.
But
don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
Don't drink and drive. Unless it's carrot juice. Carrot juice is okay.
Juice is cool.
Yeah.
And if you're horny, like with your girl, just pull over. Like you shouldn't get roadhead. It should be like on the side of the roadhead.
Oh, so roadhead's fine, but just like
it's on the side of the road.
On the shoulder.
Because when you nut, it's like, you know, you're kind of visiting like a different world. You know what I'm saying? That euphoria, you're just gonna be like, you're not gonna see the road. You know? So,
It's like you're sneezing for like 10 seconds straight. Yeah.
7 sneezes equals 1 orgasm.
Really? Someone said that?
I'll look up the science, but I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
sneezing feels pretty good, but that doesn't beat a nut.
No, but imagine sneezing 7 times in a row.
Oh shit, yeah, that might feel good.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, you heard it here first. Yeah, no, but sneezing is good. It is good. I think it's one of the top 5 bodily sensations. What do you think? If you're gonna rank the bodily sensations,
Yeah, sneezing, farting, burping.
Diarrhea?
No,
he
not
loves
diarrhea.
diarrhea. That's
No,
one
I
thing
don't like
about.
having mud butt. You know what I'm saying? You know what
Yeah,
mud butt is?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's when you're damp and shit. Like,
yeah.
I don't
Well,
really.
Oh, we call that swamp ass down.
Swamp ass?
yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
got mud butt from Dave Chappelle.
No way.
From one of his like
Oh,
skits
like,
from the
I
Dave
thought you meant
Chappelle
like
show.
you went to his restaurant.
Oh no. No, speaking of celebrity restaurants, I just walked by Guy Fieri's shop.
Oh yeah, yeah, right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been there?
No, I never been there because I don't know. I'm just like I don't really frequent those kind of restaurants.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I like to stay in Allston because just for the convenience factor,
yeah.
and I like Asian food, and I don't know. I'm not really big on like nachos and like
Sports,
just
bar
sports
shit.
like the
yeah.
sports bar shit is alright if you're drinking, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
go out of my way for it.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, that's something you've mentioned this before too. You don't like to frequent certain types of restaurants because you don't feel that they're authentic, right?
Yeah, they're not authentic, or I just feel like the worst thing is spending money on a meal and you're just like, oh, I could have just fucking got a bowl of pho or something. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So I like to be very selective on where I spend my money.
True.
Yeah.
You also don't like kind of like gentrified Asian food, right?
Well, if I want to eat like Thai food and I see like Billy Bob from like Alabama serving it, like I'm just kind of a little hesitant. But no shade to people that are into different cultures and they want to like serve that kind of food, but why not go to the source? You feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
But
What about
I have
just if it's like high end kind of Asian? Like if I don't know, I don't want to like use examples, but I don't know.
like restaurants with like tasting menus, things like
Sure,
that.
sure,
yeah,
yeah.
or like whimsical ways.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like-
yeah.
Yeah, I've been to one. I've been to a few in New York, and I'm into that. But
Yeah.
you're not gonna be full after.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all like small bites. But I like
Right.
to go. People are like, oh, you could spend less and eat so and so and be full, but you're not really going to get full, right? It's more for the experience.
Yeah.
And I love like trying different places and seeing the unique ways that a chef can spin food.
Right.
And I go for the experience, and I might not necessarily go again, but I still respect that
Yeah,
that
yeah.
space. But it's just not something I'm too familiar with.
Fair enough. Okay, top.
What about like Asian, Spanish?
I've actually never been to any restaurants that combine that, but
Well, wait, so I remember you were talking about like Koreanos, right? That whole concept.
oh, you mean like the Korean Mexican
Yeah,
fusion? Yeah, I'm into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you almost started that, right?
Yeah, the original idea was to go into that space, but then there were too many other ones that opened before me, so I was like, I'm too late to the boat or whatever. So I decided to shift towards a different concept, which was like poke. But I know people don't like to say like, oh, that's not authentic poke, right? It's kind of disrespectful to like Hawaii, right?
Sure.
So I like to just call it bowls, like
Oh, yeah,
sushi
yeah.
bowls, and I also do bibimbap, which is not necessarily poke, right?
Right, right.
So my whole thing was to make a restaurant that serves bowls, and then eventually, slowly, I started adding things, right? So I just kind of learned on the as I went, and I think that's how it became successful. I was just like, oh, I think this will work. I'll add it. Does well, keep it on. If it doesn't, you just kind of cut it, 80-60.
Yeah.
And then you look for whatever else you think will work,
I think that's part of the keys of why you were able to be so successful is like what you mentioned earlier. You always have your ears to the streets. You know what people want, how they're reacting to your food.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like a very tight feedback loop, right? When you test out an item, you know exactly how it's performing with the market, right?
Exactly. Yeah. If it smacks, then you'll know. And if it doesn't, you just cut it. And then.
So what were some of the items you had to cut throughout the years?
I mean, I had to cut tuna, but not for the popularity reasons, more for like the cost. Like during the pandemic, like a lot of fish costs were skyrocketing, and if I'm losing money, like, why am I gonna rock with it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of people got mad, like, oh, why you got rid of all this stuff and you're adding all this other stuff? I'm like, bitch, I could do whatever I want, like,
Right.
Like I started adding more Korean food, and they have a problem with that. Like, bitch, I'm Korean. Like, they're like,
Did
oh.
people actually have a problem with that?
Yeah, they were like, oh, this KimchiPapi used to be the best poke spot. They used to have all these protein options like tuna and whatever, shrimp. But then I was just like, yo, I had to transition because if it's not, at the end of the day, I got to make money, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I wanted to focus more on Korean cuisine, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily authentic, but just like modern cuisine, like street cuisine, Korean corn dogs, tteokbokki. Those things were kind of new to the menu,
Yeah.
and a lot of people were like, "Oh, he's changed" or whatever. But it's like sometimes you got to change, right? And as the boss, like you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? Like, and people don't like it, then so be it. I'm sorry. Like he's like, some people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna go here now." It's like, all right, you don't have to announce that you're leaving. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just
Yeah.
fucking go.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I think your chicken is one of your more popular items now, right?
Yeah.
It's gotten a lot better throughout the years, I think.
Yeah, the chicken, I try to kind of monitor it, the quality of it. I think it's important as a restaurant owner to taste your food and to know the process, right? So when we started off, we had a recipe, but I just kept tweaking it, and I kind of incorporated some Hispanic flavors into it. You know, we do add some adobo into the seasoning, which I think like elevates it.
Mhm.
So I'm not gonna give away all the secrets,
Right.
but we do incorporate adobo into the flavor, and I call it KFC, which is like KimchiPapi fried chicken, and people think it's like Korean fried chicken, but our chicken isn't like traditional Korean fried chicken. It's not like they use like rice flour and like soy garlic.
Yeah.
Mine is just like country style. Like I use a country style batter, you know, Aunt Jemima.
Mm.
And we use that flour because that's what I'm used to. You know, I used to eat KFC growing up. You know,
Right.
I'm not sure how it was in your household, but you know, sometimes your dad would just come home with a bucket of KFC, you know, and that shit
Oh.
would just be fire. You know,
That does sound fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't have a dad growing up,
Oh,
but
sorry.
you know, it's fine. But he would sometimes bring home chocolate when because he would visit sometimes.
Chocolate?
Yeah, from
Oh, shit.
Switzerland or wherever the
damn.
fuck else. Because he'd be out there, you know. He was out there dating European women and shit.
Oh, shit.
But
And do you think you kind of holler at the Beckys because of him, or is it
I don't know. That's a good. Well,
because
yeah.
you're dating? I don't know if people like to get into that,
Yeah,
but she is a lighter skin, right?
she is
Yeah.
of the lighter skin.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say like I exclusively holler at the Beckys.
Yeah, you don't have a
Yeah,
specific type, right? It's
yeah,
just
this
whatever.
one just happened. Actually, she's probably one of the only Caucasian women I've dated recently. But you know what I like about her though? She may be white, but she's you know, they call them gingers.
Gingers?
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with that.
Gingers.
Oh, gingers.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, with a hard G. It's like
Uh-huh.
kind of like a new thing. But
Yeah, you teach me a lot, bro.
yeah. But they are kind of like the minorities of whites.
Okay.
That's how I feel about gingers, is because I mean, you know, if you think about a lot of the struggles that we grew up with, being different, right? Being picked on for having different color skin or hair or weird eyes or whatever.
Yeah.
Flat faces. A lot of people used to call me flat face gook, moon face, pan
Okay.
face gook,
I've heard
whatever.
that before. Too.
Yeah, all these crazy
Yeah.
shit, right? But we get picked on for our appearance. I think no one more so than the gingers. So shout out to
Yeah,
the gingers, man.
I feel like they do have that kind of stigma, like, oh, you fucking ginger, you
Yeah.
weirdo. But that's cool, man, that you met someone like that. Because for me, right, in Boston, I would say the majority of people are Caucasian, right? And I got no beef with that. But when you're kind of on the dating apps, that's all you're gonna see, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have a picture of like a big fucking fish on my profile
Yeah,
picture.
the fish thing.
And
is
I don't golf and shit like that, right?
crazy.
And I'm not as sexy as you, so it's like it's a struggle out there. You know what I'm saying?
The dating apps, I've had my struggles with the dating apps too, man. I think I know a lot of Asian men go on a lot of the alternative ones, like the Hinge, the Bumble, the Tinder, tougher on a lot of kind of alternative men or ethnic men because
Ethnic
very white, but they go on different ones. People have a lot of success with this one, Coffee Meets Bagel, which I thought was a interracial app, because I thought it was like coffee like black people and then bagel
Bagel's
like
white?
Jewish people.
Oh,
So I thought it
word.
was like black black and Jewish dating
So
app.
actually, the
Yeah.
founders of that are Korean.
Oh, no way.
They're Korean women. I don't know if they're from MIT or Harvard,
Yeah.
one of the Ivy League schools, and they created that. And I've actually joined it, but I've had no success because most of the women on there are very successful.
Really?
But in terms of like academic success
Oh, yeah.
and also like corporate success, right? All of them will have master's degrees, and like they see me, right? UMass Boston, looking like a, you know, thug or whatever, and I got no love. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, that's
Because they're looking for that savior. You know what I'm saying? Whether
yeah.
it's Asian, white, but they did like some studies, and according to whatever study, they say Asian men and black women are the least likely to get any responses or matches.
Yeah, I've heard
So,
this. I
yeah.
think it was one of those apps did this. They ran their data, right?
Yeah, they ran their data, and we like. I mean, I think it's consistent because like my shit is dry as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think you're right.
But like, if any like black chicks want to holler, you know, what's up? You know, we can make some nice Blasian babies.
Malaysian babies are beautiful,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
But I think particularly in Boston, that statistic holds true, just because it's. I mean, it's still kind of like segregated out here. You know,
Yeah.
it's very cliquey still. Not necessarily. I mean, a little bit of racism, but more like low key racism, not
Yeah.
like in your face.
Right.
And I think when you go to other cities, it's a little different, right? You go to LA, you go to New York, you might get some responses from, you know, non-Asians. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah.
True. Because I think maybe in those other cities, people are just more used to
Diversity, and they're
people
more
mixing.
open, right?
Because on paper, Boston's pretty diverse, right? Like
Yeah.
we have those percentages, but they're all in their little areas, and they tend to stick
Yeah,
to
they
themselves.
tend to sit together in their little pockets, and that's cool, you know. But it just feels kind of dated. But
Agreed.
that's just how it is. Like I don't think it's gonna change, and you know, I got no beef with it. You know.
Agreed. Yeah. No. No beef, but it's something I wish that was, people in Boston were more open to. Andy and I do a segment on Instagram where we do. We'll go with our group of sort of minority friends, and
Mhm.
we'll infiltrate white bars,
White spaces.
white spaces,
Okay,
exactly,
yeah,
and we'll
that
go
sounds
out
fun.
there. Yeah, it's fun, and we
Yeah.
try to basically creep on
Yeah.
white women with a bunch
Any
of
success?
no.
Not really.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's success in the sense that we have a great time.
But in success
but-
in terms of infiltrating.
Infiltrating, yeah. I mean,
Probably
I'm
not
not.
right.
Have we had?
We have like interactions with
Yeah,
white
yeah.
people, but we never.
It's hard to bag, right?
Yeah,
It's hard to
unless.
bag.
Yeah, they inbreed, you know.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just like they just like to stick to their own, and
Yeah.
that's fine. You know,
Right,
that's
right,
cool.
right. And that's fine. And we love all types of people.
Yeah.
White people are cool, man. Whatever, Chinese,
But
whatever. you wanna
I've
call
never
it.
been with a white woman.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? Like unpaid. Like I mean, without paying. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah. Oh man. So you I mean you don't have a preference, right? You prefer it's more
No,
kind of like culture.
I'm just like whatever, like family oriented. Like you're not a bird. You know, like you have your head on straight. You're
Yeah.
not like a do nothing bitch. You feel
Yeah.
me? And yeah, I just like as long as you can vibe with her, understand each other. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think like because I know you say a lot about you don't have a lot of success with women on the apps, but I know you're fairly successful in real life with women.
I wouldn't say successful. I do.
Yeah. And that's what someone who is successful would say, right?
That sounds like a Harvard.
Sounds like someone who
No,
has.
like I've always had this body dysmorphia. Is that the right term?
Yeah, probably.
Like getting
Oh,
skinny
yeah.
shamed. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was always self conscious, like, you know, I'm just like a piece of shit, like I'm scrawny, like girls ain't gonna love me.
Yeah.
But like to compensate for that, you know, I try to be funny,
Yeah.
you know, I try to be kind and do other things to kind of stand out, right? Because I think for women, right, it doesn't really matter if you're like fucking Rico Suave or like fucking sloppy as fuck, right?
Yeah.
If you can make the girl laugh, make her comfortable, I think that kind of can supersede, you know, attractiveness. You feel me? Yeah. But for men, we're really shallow, and we're just like, yo,
Yeah.
is she bad or not?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fans want to know: are you ass or tits guy?
Earlier in my life, I think this was just like the general society was into titties back in the day.
Mhm.
But I think it's an ass world now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta have that culo. Grande. Grande o mediano, no, ¿cuál quiere?
One more carriages?
¿Te pica el culo o no?
¿Cómo?
¿Pica el culo?
Pica culo, yo no comprendo.
No. Pica, itch. Yeah. Does your ass itch?
Oh,
That's another.
That's what you should ask Latinas with big asses, because how are they wiping all that ass?
too much ass.
Yeah.
How you got all that ass?
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's another surprise pop quiz of Spanish from 5.5 Andy.
Yo, bring it on. It helps me. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Pica culo. Were we talking about tits?
tits and ass,
Tits,
dating
ass,
life.
dating life. Yeah. I mean, it's
KimchiPapi,
all,
yeah.
yeah. The question was, so yeah, you do all right, but do you think you could do what you're doing now without the business? Like, or does that
Say again. I'm sorry.
like in terms of your attractiveness to women, like because you are able to attract fairly, I'd say an above average quality and quantity of women. Like, do you think that would be possible without business ownership?
You think like the likeliness of me being able to like bad girls.
Yeah.
Or my confidence.
Yeah. Or just your financial situation or
Financial
whatever.
situation. I mean, I don't think it would matter, but because there's a lot of broke people getting laid. So, but it definitely helps.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that girls, they have the right to not want to be with a broke boy.
Yeah.
Which is understandable,
For sure.
because I mean, money isn't everything, but it fucking helps,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I would say it definitely helps, but I think I'd still be able to like bag if I was still in a different position,
Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So pre-KimchiPapi, pre the sneaker store, what sort of I guess like what circumstances or what in your life made you want to start entrepreneurship?
Actually, I started a sneaker store right out of college. Actually, because I was working part time at my friend's store, which was actually on Harvard Ave, same block as the restaurant. So I
Still
kinda,
open now?
Yeah, still open.
Oh,
Now.
is
It's
it?
called AWOL.
AWOL? Yeah, yeah.
So I grew up with those guys, and they kind of gave me a part time job while I was in college. So I kind of learned the business, and when I graduated, I was like, yo, I kind of want to open my own shop with a different concept. And at the time, my sister was a realtor, and she was like, yo, this space is open, you should take it. And I was like, all right, word. So I took the space, which is currently Kimchipapikitchen, right? I just kind of renovated it, and then I kind of ran with it. And same thing with the sneaker store as a restaurant. I didn't know what I was doing at first, but I kind of learned along the way, And it was like sneaker consignment shop, which is basically you bring in your shoes, we sell it for you, and we take a commission, which is very popular in like Tokyo, LA, and New York. And I kind of want to bring that. I wanted to bring that to Boston, and we were like one of the first ones. So I ran that for about 7 years, and then things were just not popping anymore. So that's when I transitioned to the restaurant. So I would say my entrepreneurial spirit was always there. So yeah. So right after college, I didn't get like a traditional 9 to 5. I just kind of went straight into my own business.
Do you feel like it was because like you just didn't want to go corporate or go 9 to 5? Like what about?
I think it was just the timing, right? Right after I graduated, my sister was like, "Yo, the space is open," and I was like, I had some money saved up, and I was like, I'm just gonna go with it. For example, just say hypothetically it didn't work out, then I probably would have went the traditional route and tried to get a job 9 to 5, But I've only had a 9 to 5 for about 9 months, which was in between the sneaker store and Kimchipapikitchen.
And are you happy that you got out of that?
Oh hell yeah, I hated that shit.
Yeah.
I wanted to die every day.
Really?
Yeah.
What about it?
No,
Was
it's just
so?
miserable because it's just like you have to work like super extra. Like you don't get paid if you're working extra, and like the boss was very toxic. It was far. The commute was far, and also you always had like 3 or 4 bosses telling you the same shit. Like, all right, this fucking guy told me already, but then they're just like, I don't know. I just didn't like that whole. I didn't like getting told what to do. Not to say like I'm the smartest person in the room, but I just like wanted to be my own boss, and 4 people telling me what to do was getting kind of like annoying, and I felt like I was smarter than these other individuals, and they were just in their positions because of whatever their resume or their tenure,
Right, right.
So yeah, but I did learn a lot from that. It made me appreciate like being your own boss there's freedom in that, even though you're gonna be. It's a 24-hour thing, but at least at the end of the day, you don't have to answer to anyone.
So it's a freedom thing over overall time spent working thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And for you, that's much more fulfilling.
Fulfilling. I enjoy what I'm doing, so it's not work for me.
Yeah. You mentioned, I mean, this is kind of dark, but you mentioned you wanted to die every day at the 9 to 5.
Yeah, I guess that was kind of a joke, but kind of real too.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a point in my life where like I was really depressed, and I actually Googled. I did some research on how to kill myself. You know what I'm saying? There's like these dark like websites, like dark web, kind of like Reddit. It might have been called like Deadit or some shit.
Oh Jesus Christ!
No, I'm just making that up. But like, I was just like, yo, I'm fucking depressed, and like when you're in that position, you're in so much pain that you just want to end it, right? And people are just like, oh wow, why would you want to do that? And it's like, you feel like you have nothing. There's nothing else you can do. You just want that pain to end, right? So I Googled some ways, and like on the top of the list was shotgun blast to your head. But I didn't really like the percentages. It was like 99%. I'm Asian. I like 100%.
Yeah.
And like
straight A's.
Straight A, right? You fucking bring home 99. Why you getting 100? Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
So 99%, So there's still a chance you could survive that.
Right.
And like your fucking brain is hanging and shit, and like you want to put your parents through that. And I was like, nah.
You're always thinking about your parents. That's
Yeah,
very Asian.
because you
thing.
don't. Yeah, that's the Asian in me. Like I don't want them to suffer. I just
Right.
want to just be dead, right? But then I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do that.
No.
The next on the list was jump off a building, right? I lived on the 7th floor at the time, but my homies played ball across the street every week. So imagine like they're gonna get ready for the playoff game, and my fucking head's just like rolling on the street. Like I'm just like, yo, they're gonna lose the game because of me. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna suck it up, and I'm just gonna just be miserable. You know?
That's very considerate of you. Very very Asian as well.
Yeah.
Right? Cheers to that, man.
Yeah, it's a form of respect, I guess, for your elders. And then when you drink it, you actually have to turn away from it. Yeah. But it's all good.
But yeah,
yeah, I know it's like a very dark subject, and I'm kind of making fun of it looking back. But I think that I had to go through that in order to become the person I am today. And I think there's always that stigma out there, like people that are depressed, they're just like sad, right? No, we're not sad. We're just like, this is like a sickness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you never had this sickness, then who are you to tell me how to treat it, right? Imagine you have cancer and they're just like, yo, just get better, man. Like,
Right.
Oh, thanks. I'm cured.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it's
You just don't have cancer.
yeah, just don't have cancer. Like, oh, they're like, oh, cheer up. Oh, wow. I never thought of that.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? I think it's an issue that it's very common amongst the Asian community, and
we don't like to talk about it.
Yeah, we don't like to talk about it. It's like taboo, and we're still trying to figure out like how to deal with it. For me, the ways that I was able to cope is like I surround myself with people that kind of understand the struggle, right? People on the same spectrum, I guess.
Yeah.
Because other people that don't understand it.
Wait, which spectrum?
The spectrum, just I guess the people that are depressed were kind of like part of the same clan.
Yeah, he and I are on some other different spectrums as well. So yeah.
Oh, some weird shit.
No, not like weird shit. Just more like the what is it like?
It's a mental capacity spectrum.
Some autism. We got that.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, and then we also got the what is it? The like LGBT kind of vibe.
The alphabet vibe.
Yeah. We're on that one a little bit too. So,
okay.
And I know. I mean, we talked about
maybe
this
that's not
too.
the right term, but more like people that are in the same clan as you, like
clan with a K. Hopefully not
clan. Nah, chill with that. Yeah.
I bet K for Korean.
Korean, but like I know I do a lot of alliteration and
Right.
acronyms, but I try to be careful when it's like K.
Yeah,
it might just be like KK or like 4Ks.
Right.
Well, I never do the triple K.
Triple K
Fuck
is crazy.
that.
Yeah, crazy. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like I think like we talked about this the other day. It's the kind of Robin Williams like sad clown kind of thing, right? Like that's you can find that tribe or whatever clan spectrum of people and people that you can relate to.
Exactly.
And helps you get through it.
I think like I've always been like a class clown, funny guy, but it was kind of rooted in like some sadness, you know.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of comedians are on the same boat, you know. They're fucking depressed and they use comedy as kind of like an outlet. And I've done that as well. But I'm in a much better place now, and I think that's because, you know, there's therapy. There's a lot of things you can do, medication, psychedelics, just be around good people. And I think those are the things. Like, there's no one-step cure to it, right?
Yeah.
It's like you got to find what works for you. And it's a chronic condition. It's not like it's not going to disappear, you know. It'll just suddenly hit you at any moment. Doesn't matter the situation, rich, poor, getting laid, you got money. It doesn't matter, man. If everything's going right, it could still hit you because it's a sickness, you know. It's a sickness of your brain, and then it makes your body feel sick, right? And you'll be like paralyzed, like you can't move and shit. And that's just a fact of the matter. And I'm just speaking from experience.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's it's super important to realize too. And it's not like you can just do a fix, take a medication, do a therapy, and then you're fixed. It's like constant work throughout the rest of your life too. It's like you gotta, if you're not on top of that shit, it's gonna come back and it's gonna fuck you.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you got diabetes and shit. You gotta like
exactly
take, insulin and things like that. There's treatment, right? But people don't look at it as a sickness. It's more like, oh, you got the blues and shit, right? But no, like I think people need to realize it is a sickness, and it's an epidemic, and it's common amongst millions of people, and we need to be more sensitive to people and be more understanding. Because for me, right, I'm always thinking about someone. I'm always thinking about other people, right? And when you're depressed, you don't want to like burden other people, right?
Right.
You don't want to give off that bad vibe. So everyone has their own fucking problems, right? And you don't want to add to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of suffered in silence, and that was by choice. You know, people will reach out and be like, "Yo, I'm good." It's just easier to say you're good, right?
Yeah.
Because if you say I'm not good, they're gonna be like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And then they'll try to give you solutions, you know.
Mhm.
And it's coming from a good place, but it just doesn't help, right?
Yeah,
And that's why I think it's important to like consult a professional before you try to like look up ways to, you know, off yourself.
Yeah.
Like trying to like, you know, shoot your brain off, and then it's only 99% effective, you know.
Don't do it, guys.
Yeah, don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
there's no 100% solution to offing yourself.
Right.
So let's just get on with it. Like, we gotta live life, you know.
Yeah.
It's everything is temporary.
Exactly.
That pain is temporary, right? Looking back, I was like, I'm never gonna get through this, but I got through it. You know, pain is temporary, and glory lasts forever, and glory holds too.
Yeah.
They're always there.
They are always
reusable.
there.
They're reusable.
They are reusable.
It's forever, baby. And so is herpes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's unfortunate. You got it or no?
I don't know. Sometimes in the winter, I'd be having these little pimples around my mouth, but I'm in like in denial. I'm just like, yo, it's just a pimple.
Yeah.
But who knows? Because it's really common. You know, Usher has it.
Everybody has it. Usher has it.
Yeah,
I think
it's just like whatever, as long as it's not on my fucking balls.
Yeah. You don't want nothing.
That would be nasty because you know, getting your ball sucked is nice, you know. And if you got fucking herpes, like the bitch is gonna be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I'm out.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, no. So thank God we don't have that. The genital herpes. That's probably one of the worst things to have. Warts, I think, as well. Warts.
Fuck
I don't want warts.
But it's just like in this day and age, everyone just like sex is like so like mainstream, right? Everyone's fucking. But y'all gotta be safe, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know what else? What's becoming mainstream? Well, because I think sex is so mainstream, a new movement started kind of popping off on Gen Z, like TikTok and shit, where they are practicing abstinence. So they're not doing sex anymore.
Oh, okay.
I
respect that.
Yeah.
But I think at some point, you kind of get like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Blue balls.
Yeah, blue balls, and you get this
wet dreams.
Tired of soaking.
What's that term? You just get like, it just builds up, you know.
Oh yeah.
You gotta release.
Yeah.
And I think that's just.
You're horny.
Yeah, you just horny. It's just human nature, right? And then when you get to that point, you might just like end up doing some crazy shit, right?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the people that they say, a lot of these whole like kind of angsty teens doing all these murders and shit is because they don't
pent up aggression.
Yeah,
pent up sexual frustration, right?
Yeah.
You just gotta bust a nut. I think it's important to bust a nut.
Yeah.
Like jerk off, it's fine, but just don't let it become like don't become addicted to it. You know? I don't think you need to do it like 3 times a day.
Yeah.
You know, once every 3 to 5 business days, you know.
Yeah. It's important to release, right?
Yeah, important to release, and I don't think like sex is important. It shouldn't be like your main focus in life, right?
Yeah.
It's just part of life, you know.
Right.
It's an added bonus, you know.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, we were talking earlier about I think was it Filipinos.
Yeah.
There's like some culture that they purchase escorts, like sexual escorts for their children, so that they don't run into this repression problem.
Oh, so they don't become like murderers.
Exactly. So they just want to feel like released. So it also like teaches them how to have sex, kind of at a young age legally. But I guess the age of consent is probably different in different places, but I also don't know if this is true. I heard this from some guy. I personally have, you know, me and my problems, but I think most of my blood, they usually go to sort of like the forearms. I get like these really
mine goes to
veiny
my face. Yeah, I get the Asian glow.
Yeah, I get that sometimes too. I get that sometimes. Speaking of Asians, you're Asian.
Yeah. You can tell by my slanted eyes. Yeah.
Well, you're wearing the shades, but yeah, but yeah, we can tell by
my yellow skin.
Yeah. But you're a handsome Asian.
Excuse me.
A handsome.
Thank
Asian.
you.
Yeah, and
you as well.
Thank you. I think handsome Asians have a duty to represent Asians, right?
Yeah.
Because you know, a lot of people think it's the stat we were talking about earlier, right? Like Asian people, Asian men are one of the least attractive men according to the stats, right?
Pushover, nerd, small PP, can't drive, whatever, whatever stereotype, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, don't group us into one,
right? And we're also we're rare as far as Asians go. We're both like what 6'6",
Oh
6'7"?
yeah, I'm actually 6'1", 6'2" if I wear like platforms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, but I just bullshit on wherever. I'll just be like 6'2".
yeah.
You know, what's another inch gonna,
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
At that point, I mean,
But you look like 6'2", 6'3".
yeah, I think so. But
Yeah.
I always say 6'7" just because like
Oh yeah, like
yeah.
who's gonna know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
yeah.
people only see me kind of like neck up anyway. So, and I have a long neck.
Yeah,
So,
mine too.
yeah.
They just call me giraffe. Yeah.
dude, yeah, me too. I
Oh,
was always really self
oh,
conscious
why
about my
haven't we
neck.
met earlier?
Dude,
in
I
life?
don't know.
What the
It's
fuck? Where the
crazy.
fuck you been, bitch?
Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know, but so I was I think I've always had a lot of social anxiety, so I
Okay.
didn't want to be out and about.
Mhm.
But this whole like social media project of
Yes.
mine was out of like when I was turning 30. I was like, why am I like why do I want to hold myself back just for something as silly as anxiety, right? And I was like, there's things that I would like to do,
Yeah.
is make dumb videos on the internet about food, and I was just like, I don't want to do it because I'm scared.
Okay.
But then when I was like, I was turning 30, I was like, you know what, let's just do it because fuck it, right? Like, what's the alternative? I just die.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you decided to do it.
Thank you, man. Me too, because it allowed me to meet wonderful people like you,
Yeah.
and get into this beautiful space, Viva Karaoke, and record podcasts talking about Latinas. And so I think like really at the end of the day, most people would love to be able to do something like this. Is talk about Latinas on camera, and this is definitely the soju talking all of a sudden, but that's fine. But yeah, but like people don't take that step.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be able to do it, and I think that's something that both of you and I have in common, which is like at some point we're just like, fuck it, let's do it.
Okay, just do it live. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's always these fucking sayings like YOLO, we live only once, and all
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, it's just like there's some truth to it, you know. Just fucking do it. Like we got
Just
one
do it,
life to
man.
live, and when you mention like anxiety is a silly thing, but it's a serious thing too, you know.
Is this seriously?
You know,
Yeah.
I have some anxiety sometimes too, and it makes me not want to like interact with people.
Right.
But I think we need to like you know, you found a way to get out of that shell, and now you're thriving, and it's dope to see that, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really glad I did it. I've heard it being described, anxiety that is being described as the coward's disease, and I think it's a kind of it's almost like a funny way to say it, because if you think about it like that, it's like, yeah, like why are we afraid of this? What the fuck? Like this
Yeah.
anxiety at the end of the day is just we're afraid of some shit that isn't there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're like in our head about shit,
Mhm.
and like to frame it as the coward's disease, to me, I was like, oh yeah, you know what? Like, let me just not be that, you know. And I know it's probably problematic to call it that, but it helped me. So, but yeah, so for you, getting out of this talk for a bit, you know, you run KimchiPapi in Allston. What's, if you can think of one kind of tip, like what are your top one or two tips as far as business wisdom that you can drop for the people right now?
Okay. If you enter the restaurant space, just be ready to give up everything, like sacrifice. You might not be able to go to weddings, even funerals, right? Because it's just like if you're not at the restaurant and it falters, then your life is pretty much ruined because there's so much investment in it, right? So you might lose some friends here. You might not have time to date or whatever. You just gotta sacrifice a lot, and people need to realize that unless you have like, you know, money hanging out your anus and you can pay people to do these things, but most of the time, you know, restaurant entrepreneurs, they're kind of on their own. And I think if you're not ready for that commitment or sacrifice, then don't do it, right? Because at the end of the day, you're serving the community, and if you're not gonna do it right, just don't do it at all. Because there's a lot of half-ass, you know, restaurants out there giving like minimal effort, you know, and yeah, I think be ready to sacrifice. I know it's easier, you know, said than done, but you really have to be ready to sacrifice. And also, I would say use other people's money. And when I mean that, I mean whether it's loans, partners, or investors, because that way you can go further and not have to use your money, and you're just using your brain, your sweat equity. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's a term I usually like to live by. It's called OPM, which was, I don't know if it was coined by Damon John, which is, he's a shark on that show Shark Tank, and also the creator of FUBU clothing. He always talks about OPM, and all the successful people in life, they use OPM. Donald Trump, you know, OPM, other people's money, other people's marketing, and other people's manufacturing, right?
Mm.
Why are you gonna spend so and so to do this when you can use other people's? And it's not necessarily like you're using them, right? You provide them equity or whatever. You pay back your loan, and then at the end of the day, you're not draining your account and selling your ass on the street to pay the rent, you know? Because, you know, there are some days I'm just like, damn, how am I gonna pay rent? You know, I have to sell my booty on Mass Ave. Like, what am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Mass Ave, I don't know if they could pay that much because
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, those are probably the two gems I would drop. Be ready to sacrifice and use other people's money.
that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Let's end on this. You're in Allston a lot.
Yes.
You have your ear to the streets in Allston. What are your top 3 Allston restaurants?
Okay. Top 3. I'm gonna go first. I go to Korean Garden a lot because it's owned by like you know, middle-aged Korean ajashi. Ajashi just means like senor, you know, like a distinguished gentleman.
Yeah.
And he has like kind of the classics that I love, like homey dishes. So I order from there quite often. And then second, I would probably go Seoul Jangto.
Mm.
They also serve like homey dishes, and they serve like Chinese-inspired Korean dishes. And then number 3, I would probably say Shabu Zen because actually I used to work there, right?
Yeah.
I love Shabu Zen because I don't know, just everything's good. Everything, the produce, the meat, the broth. It's just like I think they're my favorite. I think.
Yeah.
Well, it's getting kind of expensive, you know.
It is, yeah.
But you know, I might just do it at home. You feel me?
Right.
And everyone's like going all you can eat places, but at the end of the day, the all you can eat cannot beat Shabu Zen just because of the quality.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they're giving you inferior cuts of meat, you know. But some people just don't care. They just want to be full.
Yeah.
But I don't like to be full of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want to be full with like good shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. What restaurant in Allston has the most baddies working there?
The most baddies, and I would say, I don't know recently because I haven't been out, but from my experience, I would say Shabu Zen would have some baddies, and it's always rotating, right?
Yeah.
Because the students come and go.
Mm-hmm.
So Shabu Zen had a good roster of baddies, but I never really hollered because I feel like it's kind of, I don't know. For me, I would always get nervous. Like, what am I gonna do? Leave my number on like the receipt or something?
Yeah.
And I feel like so many people hit on them. It's just like, how are you gonna stand out? You know?
Yeah.
I've tried it a few times. I leave my number, be like, "Yo, call me."
Yeah.
But you know, it never really.
Well, you
worked
have
out.
the I guess secret special move of just, hey, you should stop by my restaurant sometime.
That actually has worked for me. You know.
Yeah.
But back in the day, you know, when I was just regular old Joon Son, you know,
True.
that shit was hard. You know.
Yeah.
But now I can be like, "Yo, pull up." You know. I'll
Yeah.
take care of you, and then we
Yeah.
can go in the back and we could, you know, I'll give you the special. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful. All right, man. Well, I really appreciate your time today. We'll definitely have you back on again because you're a great guest and
thank you.
great
Thanks for
friend of
having
mine.
me.
So,
It was a
yeah,
pleasure.
thanks a lot, man.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah. Any
Let's
last
go.
words, Andy?
Clapping cheeks in the freezer.
We actually don't have a walk-in freezer or fridge, but I'm pretty sure if I did have one, yeah, why not?
It'd been clapped.
Would have been clapped.
It would have been clap at it. Would have happened.
Amazing.
Clapping would have happened.
Amazing. Thank you, brother.
Oh, thank you.